Express News, where we update you with the top 100 news of the day from across the country and the world. These news, the crisp 100 news, range from politics, national and world affairs, business, sports and entertainment news in a quick, succinct manner. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Let us start. Delivering the keynote address at the Indo-Pacific Regional Dialogue virtually, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that India is fully determined to protect its maritime interests while it supports the maintenance of rule-based maritime systems as mandated under the UN Convention on the Law of Seas. The Defence Minister pointed out that while the seas offer abundant opportunities for sustenance and growth of the mankind, they pose challenges such as terrorism, piracy, drug trafficking and climate change. He called for a cooperative response to these challenges. Underlining the importance of Indo-Pacific, Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh said that the core idea of Indo-Pacific is more important than the geographical area. He added that maritime orientation of Indo-Pacific and awareness of the evolving nature of competitions in the region are other dimensions here. The Supreme Court today ordered a probe into the PEGASUS surveillance case by a three-member expert committee. The committee will be headed by retired Supreme Court Judge Justice R.V. Ravindran. The Supreme Court will monitor the function of the committee. The court observed that while it is the era of information technology which is crucial for our daily lives, it is equally important to safeguard the privacy of citizens. Home Minister Amit Shah has said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's reforms have always been based on the needs of the poor, and the Prime Minister has given a human angle to GDP. Shah said this while addressing the inaugural session of the National Conference in New Delhi on Delivering Democracy, reviewing 2 decades of Prime Minister Narendra Modi as head of government. Amit Shah said that PM Modi initiated projects that contributed to India's development in all sectors. He said the GDP should grow, but its beneficiary should be the poor and the needy. Union Home Minister said 19 lakh crore rupees have been sent through direct benefit transfer, supporting the poor and the needy across the nation under various schemes. The Home Minister also said that the government took a number of bold decisions, including abrogation of Article 370, banning instant triple talaq and one rank, one pension. The Home Minister said safety and security of the nation was ensured through surgical strikes and air strikes. Chemicals and Fertilizers Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia has said that the investment in India's pharma sector has gone up after the pandemic. He said the government has always been pro-industry and industry-friendly. Dr. Mandavia said that the leading companies of the world should take advantage of the efforts being made by the Government of India to make the country the best investment destination. The Education Ministry notified the 4-year ITEP, a dual major holistic bachelor's degree offering BA B.Ed or BSc B.Ed and BCom B.Ed, which is one of the major mandates of the National Education Policy 2020 related to teacher training education. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath gave a gift of 1,012 crore rupees to the GHONDA district. He laid the foundation stone of various development projects, including a government medical college in GHONDA. The NCB team has reached Mumbai to investigate the 25 crore worth corruption allegations in ARYAN Khan case. NCB official Gyaneshwar Singh said that the team has collected records and all the witnesses will be called for inquiry. In the drugs on cruise bust case, lawyers of accused ARYAN Khan, Munmun Dhamecha and Arbaz Merchant concluded their arguments on their bail applications before the Bombay High Court. Now, NCB has to respond to the arguments. Hearing in the case has been adjourned till tomorrow. In Uttarakhand, rains death toll has reached 76. 5 people remain missing and 24 people are injured. The Indian Railways has made special arrangements in this ongoing festive season for the passengers travelling to their native places to celebrate festivals with their families. For the convenience of rail travellers and to clear the extra rush of passengers during this season, Railways is running 668 trips of 110 special trains from Durga Puja till Chhath Puja this year. Former Chief Minister of Punjab, Captain AMRINDER Singh, announced today his decision to form a new party. Addressing media persons in Chandigarh, Captain AMRINDER Singh said that the name of the party will be announced once the Election Commission clears it. He also hinted at seat sharing with the BJP in the upcoming assembly polls. The Indian Army is celebrating its 75th Infantry Day today. The day is observed as a remembrance of the first military event of independent India, when the Indian Army repelled the first attack on Indian soil on 27th October 1947 in the Kashmir Valley. Schools in Delhi will reopen from 1st of next month. Briefing reporters in New Delhi, Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia, said parents will not be forced to send their kids to school. He said all classes will be conducted in blended or hybrid mode. On to business news now. The SENSEX declined 207 points to end at 61,143 on Wednesday. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange dropped 58 points to close at 18,213. Key Asian markets slipped on Wednesday. The MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan fell 0.8%, led by a 3.5% decline on the Hong Kong's Hang Seng Tech Index, after China's internet watchdog said that it plans stricter registration rules for the younger net users. Back home at the interbank forex market, the rupee depreciated 7 paise to close at 75 rupees 3 paise against the US dollar. At the multi-commodity exchange, gold prices advanced 66 rupees at 47,879 rupees per 10 grams on Wednesday. Silver prices advanced 221 rupees at 65,210 rupees per kilo. Petrol and diesel prices were hiked again after a two-day pause on Wednesday as rates jumped to record high levels. The latest increase that follows the unrelenting hike in international oil prices. In Delhi, petrol and diesel rates soared 35 paise. The prices of diesel also surged by 33 to 37 paise across the country. The fuel was available at 96 rupees 67 paise per litre in the capital. Global crude oil prices fell on Wednesday after industry data showed US crude oil stockpiles rising more than expected. US crude was down 95 cents or 1.1% at $83.70 a barrel. Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency, fell as much as 3.7% to $58,100, its lowest since October 15th, though the digital currency is still on track for its best month since February. With the administration of 55,89,124 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours, India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has exceeded 103 crore 53 lakh as per provisional reports till 7 this morning. The recovery of 14,021 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients since the beginning of the pandemic to 3 crore 35 lakh 97,339. India's recovery rate stands at 98.19%. The recovery rate is currently at its highest peak since March last year. Less than 50,000 daily new cases are being reported for 122 consecutive days now. 13,451 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The active case load in the country remains below the 2 lakh mark and is presently at 1,62,661, which is the lowest in 242 days now. Active cases presently constitute 0.48% of the country's total positive cases, which is the lowest since March last year. Testing capacity across the country continues to be expanded. Last 24 hours saw a total of 13,05,962 tests being conducted across the country. India has so far conducted over 60 crore 32 lakh cumulative tests. Weekly positivity rate at 1.22% remains less than 2% for the last 33 days now. Daily positivity rate is reported to be below 3%. The daily positivity rate has remained below 2% for the last 23 days and below 3% for 58 consecutive days now. World continues to battle COVID-19. So far, more than 24 crore 53 lakh people have contracted COVID-19. The number of recoveries stand above 22 crore 24 lakh globally. The virus has claimed over 49 lakh 79,000 lives worldwide. The United States of America continues to remain the worst affected nation with COVID-19 disease so far. The number of cases in the US has crossed 4 crore 64 lakh, while the death toll remains above 7 lakh 59,000. All fully vaccinated Australian citizens and permanent residents will be able to leave the country without a special exemption from 1st November onwards. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison on Wednesday said that unvaccinated tennis players would be allowed to enter the country to play at the Australian Open in January if they underwent a mandatory 2-week COVID-19 quarantine. Australian Prime Minister's statement is good news for Tennis Australia, who wants Serbia's world number 1 Novak Djokovic and other top players whose vaccination status is unclear to be able to compete at the Grand Slam. An expert panel on Tuesday voted overwhelmingly to recommend the US Food and Drug Administration authorize the PFIZER Inc. and BIONTECH SE COVID-19 vaccine for children aged 5 to 11, citing that the benefits of the shot outweigh the risks. All beds designated for COVID-19 patients in one of the Kyiv hospitals are occupied in Ukraine as the head of the hospital's infectious diseases department treats his patients. Cuba will open its borders and ease entry requirements next month, signaling that a 2-year pandemic pall is lifting from the Caribbean island as it vaccinates the entire population with its own COVID-19 drugs. Just a few days before COP26 opens in Glasgow, Scotland, another scientific report on climate change is another thundering wake-up call, according to the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres. According to the UN Emissions Gap Report, current commitments to cut greenhouse gas emissions put the planet on track for an average 2.7 degrees Celsius temperature rise this century. Britain's Queen Elizabeth will not attend the COP26 summit in Glasgow next week after she was advised to rest. In Canada, Indian origin politician Anita Anand was appointed as the new defense minister in a cabinet reshuffle by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau yesterday. The US government will appeal in a London court on Wednesday against a ruling by a British judge arguing that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange should not be extradited. WikiLeaks came to prominence when it published a US military video in 2010 showing a 2007 attack by Apache helicopters in Baghdad that killed a dozen people. Haiti's streets were unusually quiet on Tuesday and gas stations remained dry as gangs blocked the entrance to ports that hold fuel stores, demanding Prime Minister Ariel Henry's resignation. Chilean police evacuated people from a fire that affected tens of homes, vehicles and a warehouse in the Carahue commune in southern Chile on Monday afternoon. Germany's outgoing Chancellor Angela Merkel on Tuesday received her discharge papers from President Frank-Walter Steinmeier, relegating her to a caretaker role after 16 years of being at the country's helm. US President Joe Biden told a virtual summit of ASEAN that his country plans to spend more than $100 million to expand its strategic partnership with the 10-member bloc. A Senate committee in Brazil has voted to recommend that President Jair Bolsonaro face charges over his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. 7 of the panel's 11 members backed the report calling for 9 charges to be filed against Bolsonaro, including crimes against humanity. The vote concludes a 6-month inquiry which has revealed scandals and corruptions inside Brazil's government. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on Tuesday said that the United States has sent a clear message to the military in Sudan that they should first and foremost cease any violence against innocent civilians and that they should release those who have been detained and they should get back on a democratic path. The Biden administration is looking at a full range of economic tools to respond to the military takeover in Sudan and has been in close contact with the Gulf countries. Back home, Khadi Designer Award ceremony and fashion show was organized in New Delhi on Tuesday. Dresses of 10 young fashion designers selected from across the country through All India Khadi Designer Competition were displayed during the fashion show. A pet store owner in South Korea baked Squid Game themed dog treats, Dalugna candy, coffins with ribbons and pink guards wearing masks were among some of the new treats to get into the Halloween spirit. South Korean pet store owner Lee Jin-sun, who runs a cooking studio for dog food in Seoul, said that she decided to open a special baking class for Squid Game fans this year. After a journey by truck, then being carried in stretchers or on people's backs, a group of 150 vicunas arrived to a repopulating center in Peru's Cusco. Peruvian authorities have established a conservationist project meant to recover and conserve wild fauna. The vicunas in Peru were transferred specifically to improve the sustainable management of the vicuna in the Cusco region. Authorities hope that the vicunas will not only become a tourist attraction, but that the locals will use their wool to create handicrafts as well. An abused tiger rescued from an abandoned private club in Ukraine was released to his new home at an animal sanctuary in the Netherlands after a 3-day journey across Europe. Traces of a large building have recently been discovered in South Korean city Iksan, that is home to the twin tombs where Baekje monarchs were buried. The holes that have been discovered in South Korean city Iksan were presumably dug out for wooden pillars. Archaeologists believe that the site was home to 2 structures measuring 30 meters long and 10 meters wide. In Singapore, a group of scientists from the National University of Singapore are using Lego pieces to help save coral reefs in the country. The group puts Lego pieces with coral into water. As Thailand prepares to reopen the country, it is preparing guidelines to allow visitors from Thailand's neighboring countries such as Laos, Myanmar and Malaysia to take one-day trips to Thailand. In Britain, a Hogwarts trolley goes on UK tour ahead of the 20th anniversary of the Harry Potter movie series. Vietnam's Ho Chi Minh City has restarted its first water tour to Cang Ngo. The service is part of the plan to restore the tourism industry under the conditions of safe adaptation to COVID-19 until 2022. 50 Vietnamese and foreign tourists from Ho Chi Minh City took part in the water tour, which departed from Bac Dong Wharf for Cang Ngo by speedboat. The tour has resumed serving tourists after several months of suspension due to the pandemic. A drone footage shows some of the key sites around the Mont Blanc Massif, which spans France, Italy and Switzerland. The footage showcases melting glaciers of Mont Blanc ahead of the key environment summit COP26 in Glasgow. A prototype of German aviation startup's electrical air taxi went on display at Rome's Fiumicino airport as the airport looks ahead to 2024, when they hope that the public will be able to travel on the battery-powered passenger aircraft. On to some sporting action now. Indian swimmer Srihari Nataraj bettered his own mark on the opening day of the 74th Senior National Aquatic Championships. In another brilliant swim, Delhi's Kushagra Rawat came up with a sensational effort in the 400-meter freestyle for men as he clocked 3 minutes 53.68 seconds to create a new national record. The seasoned Shiva Thapa entered the second round of the IBA World Boxing Championships after dominating victories in the opening bouts. Tournament debutant Deepak Boria advanced to the pre-quarters of the IBA World Boxing Championships after dominating victories in the opening bouts. In the latest ICC T20 rankings, England's David Mallon secures the first spot, followed by Babar Azam of Pakistan at the second place. India's captain Virat Kohli dropped 1 place to 5th, while teammate KL Rahul slipped 2 spots to 8th position in the ICC Men's T20 International Player Rankings. Teen sensation Emma Raducanu won her first WTA Tour match as she recovered from a set down to beat world number 124 Polona Hercog 4-6, 7-5, 6-1 in the Transylvania Open in Romania. Chelsea beat Premier League rival Southampton on penalties after a 1-1 draw in the EPL. The Gunners' Arsenal march into the Carabao Cup quarter-finals as they beat Leeds United 2-0. A pair of Nike shoes worn by basketball legend Michael Jordan in his rookie season with the Chicago Bulls fetched a record $1.472 million at an auction in Las Vegas. In entertainment news coming in now, the second song track of Akshay Kumar and Katrina Kaif starrer Suryavanshi is out. The song Mere Yara features both the actors and is sung by Neeti Mohan and Arijit Singh. Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan starrer Mohabbatein completes 21 years today. The movie also featured actress Aishwarya Rai Bachchan. Hausla Rakh featuring singer Diljit Dosanjh and actor Shehnaz Gill has become North Indian Film of the Year. The film has earned 38 crore 15 lakh rupees in just 11 days. Actor Bhumi Pednekar has joined the cast of Anubhav Sinha's upcoming movie Bheed. The movie also stars Rajkumar Rao. Bollywood actor Sunil Shetty's son Nahan Shetty is all set to make his debut with the film Tadap. The movie is co-starred by Tara Sutaria. Akkad Bakkad Rafu Chakkar has announced its release date, that is November 3rd. The film is a directorial venture of Raj Kaushal. BTS has submitted their song Butter to be considered a nomination at the Grammy Awards 2022. The summer single had raged through Billboard Top 100. Paris Hilton and Carter Reum shared a glimpse of their wedding docu-series titled Paris in Love. The docu-series is set to release in November. The HBO has renewed Succession for a 4th season. The announcement came when the series is only 2 episodes into season 3. And Kelsey Grammer and Phyllis Logan have teamed up for survival thriller No Way Up. The story of the movie revolves around characters on a stricken aircraft that crashes into the Pacific Ocean. So that's it in this edition of Express News. We will be back tomorrow, same time, with the top 100 news of the day. So until we meet again, you take very good care of yourself, especially in the times of the festive season ahead. Observe social distancing, wear your mask, sanitize yourself often, stay safe. Not only for yourself, but also for your loved ones. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.